Insomnia, it's something I've struggled a lot with over the years, and it's something a lot of you guys have struggled with, particularly those of you who are into lucid dreaming and stuff like that. A lot of the time you're interested in dreams and sleep simply because of the fact that you don't have the best dreams or sleep to begin with. So today I want to talk about some of the ways that you can deal with insomnia. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot, it's me Matt here, and today I'm discussing insomnia. Hopefully you won't be able to hear my cat meowing in the background, but you might, so if that's there and it bothers you, I apologise for that. But anyway, onto the video itself. Insomnia. It's something that I've struggled with for a very, very long time, and for anyone who has it, it really, really sucks. Basically, you find yourself unable to fall asleep. Even if you're laying in bed for hours just tossing and turning, you can't fall asleep. Or sometimes you have it where you wake up in the middle of the night and you just can't get back to sleep. There are different kinds of insomnia. One of them is where you really, really struggle to fall asleep in the first place, or to fall back asleep, and the other one is one where you can't stay asleep, so you keep waking up even though you fall asleep fine, but you wake up every 5 minutes or something like that. So the first strategy that I'm going to suggest for dealing with insomnia is making sure that you're on a regular sleep pattern. Basically, your body is designed to sleep at night and be awake in the day, and as a result of this, your body responds to darkness by producing melatonin, a substance that actually regulates your sleep and helps you keep a normal sleeping pattern. But if you don't sleep at night in the darkness, then you're not going to produce amounts of melatonin that are sufficient to actually get restful, good sleep. So if you're sleeping during the day and being up during the night, then it's no wonder that you have insomnia. That's just a fact of life. If you're sleeping throughout the day and awake at night, you're going to struggle with issues like insomnia because you're not sleeping the way your body is meant to. So if you, for example, work a night shift, or you have some reason that you have to be up at night, then you have to really decide, is that night shift, is that job, whatever you're doing, worth, losing quality sleep over? Because if it is, then you're going to have to potentially deal with things like insomnia. There's not a 100% way of getting around that. But if it's not worth, bad sleep and, suffering with insomnia and so on, then you might want to consider not going for that kind of job. Now, if you're just someone that stays up all night just because you enjoy it or you feel like it, you may want to reconsider that. If you're suffering from insomnia, it's not worth it. Yeah, some people find that, they can sleep relatively easily even though they're on a messed up sleep pattern, but if you're not one of those people, then don't make it worse by staying on that sleep pattern. So what do I mean by a messed up sleep pattern? When should you actually be sleeping? Well, basically, you should be sleeping when it's dark. So what you want to do is you want to wake up around the time that the sun rises, give or take. In some places of the world, the sun rises and sets at kind of weird times, so they would look a bit weird if you actually just follow the sun. But, like 5 or 6 in the morning, maybe 7 or 8, if you want to get up a bit later, if it's the weekend or something, maybe even, 9 or 10 if it's the weekend, if you want to get up really late. But, within those hours, between like 4 or 5 and like 9 or 10 in the morning. And then for actually when you go to sleep, you want to go to sleep sometime in the evening to late evening, depending on, how you feel, your age, stuff like that. Anywhere from like 6 or 7 p.m, yes, that early. You can go to sleep that early if you really, for example, if you want to sleep really long, or if you're going to be practicing lucid dreaming, you might want to go to sleep earlier just so that you have more time. So if you do suffer with insomnia, and say it takes you 2 hours to fall back asleep, and you're practicing lucid dreaming, then you want to have that extra 2 hours so that you don't miss out on any sleep. At the other end of things, you could go to bed anytime up to say 12, midnight, or 1 a.m, something like that, but you don't really want to go to bed any later than that. And if you do go to bed that late, then you want to, obviously get up a little bit later. You want to sleep for at least 7 hours, at least. Maybe a little bit longer, probably no more than 9. So kind of in the 7 to 9 hour region. For a lot of people, 8 is the ideal number. For some people, 7 is the ideal number. For some people, 9 is going to be the ideal number. You can get away with a little bit less than 7, if you really need to be up early one day, but it's not something that you should do regularly. You shouldn't be getting only 6 hours of sleep on a regular basis. If you have to get up early for work or something, go to bed earlier to begin with. And you shouldn't be sleeping super long either. That's also not too good for you. Sleeping like 10 to 12 hours, that's not the best. So sleep around 7 to 9 hours. Go to bed when it's in the evening, sometime between say 6 or 7 p.m. and 1 a.m, depending on when you plan to get up. Give yourself that 7 to 9 hours, and then get up in the morning between 4 and like 10 a.m. Aside from having a regular sleep pattern, you can also help this by using a sleep mask. The sleep mask will help block out any light that's in your room. So one thing that you might not realise is that even though it's dark and it's night time, you might not be getting proper melatonin production because you have lots of little lights in your room and so on. If you have electronics, most of them have standby lights, and that little tiny red light or blue light or whatever on your receiver or something like that is going to actually interfere with melatonin production. So you want to block that out completely, and you could just go and unplug everything from the sockets and black out your windows and so on, but obviously that's going to take a bit of effort. And for me, I think it's just simpler to put on a sleep mask at night. They cost like $5 or something like that. You can get them probably cheaper than that. I got one for about $7 or whatever, and it works great. Some sleep masks are better than others. Some of them block out the light better and so on. Mine isn't perfect, like I can still see a bit of light coming in around the nose area. But what I do is I just kind of angle myself in such a way and kind of lower the sleep mask a bit, so that kind of like my pillow side is blocking off at the top where there's a gap, and then I just pull the sleep mask down a bit so there's no gap at the bottom, and as a result of that, no light gets in and I get perfect sleep. The next thing that I suggest is exercise, and I'm talking cardiovascular exercise rather than resistance training. So things like running, cycling, swimming and so on, things that get your blood pumping. Those will actually help you get better quality sleep, so you'll actually feel more well rested. Even on those nights where you don't get enough sleep, you'll actually feel pretty good. But it will also mean that you fall asleep much faster. Partly just because you're a little bit tired out because you've actually done more work during the day, but also just because it improves your sleep in general. The next thing that I suggest is building a positive association with your bed. So don't spend way too long tossing and turning in bed. If you are in that situation, get up out of bed for a bit, read a book, don't turn your computer on or anything like that. Just read a book, relax, meditate for a bit, and then try again later, rather than laying there for hours tossing and turning. Don't use your bed for like playing video games in. Don't sit on your laptop in bed playing video games and stuff like that, because that's going to condition you to be alert and awake when you're in bed rather than restful and ready to go to sleep. Make sure your bed and your cushions and your duvet and so on are all really, really comfortable and actually help you fall asleep, and get into the habit of going to bed the same time each day with a similar routine. So your routine could be something as simple as brushing your teeth, getting in bed, reading a book for 10 minutes and go to sleep. Do the same routine at around the same time every day, and you're going to find it's much, much easier to fall asleep. Your body struggles to deal with changes and shifts in your sleep pattern. So if you're going to sleep at 9 p.m. one day, 11 p.m. the next day, 1 a.m. the day after that, and then 7 p.m. the next day, your body is not going to really handle that so well, and that could be causing you insomnia. But if you're going to sleep at the same time every day, and you're doing it the exact same way, the half an hour before you go to bed is the same each time, you're doing the same exact things, a kind of ritual of sorts, then you're going to find it much, much easier to fall asleep. So anyway, I hope these tips have been helpful and you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to subscribe up there for more. Also, check out my Patreon page. If you want to support the channel, you can do so there. Thank you guys for watching, take care.